Well, we now have a new Super Bowl champion, and no, it's not the New England Patriots or a team with Tom Brady on it. In fact, it is the LA Rams. They defeated the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday night, 23-20. Thomas Wildman joins myself now. And Thomas, just starting things off, what an accomplishment this is for the LA Rams.
Yeah, for sure, Evan. You got to really think about this team's only won one Super Bowl in their past. That was back in 2000 with the Greatest Show on Turf. And so this is a team that hasn't exactly back when it has been with St. Louis before they moved to LA, and they just weren't having that great of a years from 2002 now. But now they've, with players like Aaron Donald and now Drew Stafford, they've kind of created that core and made a great team. And so getting the win, came up short a few years ago against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. And so it's a huge accomplishment for a team that's only had one Super Bowl, as I mentioned. And it's really refreshing to see, especially as the Bengals were up against them. Teams in the four big sports that haven't had championships or lots of championship success being successful, and the Rams are another great story to add to that list that has kind of happened in the beginning of the 2020s.
And Thomas, obviously a great success for the organization, but, even better for these players who actually, put their heart and soul on that field. You can just tell from, looking at faces after the game, these players, it really means the world to them winning the Super Bowl, obviously.
Well, for sure. It's the big win, right? Like the personal achievements of, like, for Aaron Donald, for example, he's been the defensive player of the year. He won rookie of the year as a rookie. Like, so many been a Pro Bowler, but none of that really is, it's important, but when you have that ring, you are on a team, the best team in the league at the point, and that's a huge thing. And for a player like Aaron Donald, who has so many other accolades, but kind of it legitimizes him as one of the greats that he's now been on a championship team. Another player who is one of the greats and will be in the Hall of Fame, like Aaron Donald, Odell Beckham Jr. He kind of came at the end of the Giants. They were a really good team for a little bit there, and he kind of came at the end. He had that excellent catch, that one of the greatest catches of all time. But and with the Browns, they wasn't ever really having that playoff success, and he got injured in this game. But when you could see it on his face too, he was so happy to finally have a ring. Drew Stafford, another player who, with the Lions, could have went down if he would have stayed there forever. He could have gone down in history as a great quarterback who never even came close to sniffing a Super Bowl, but now he has one, and so really happy for all of them. Von Miller gets another one. He had won with the Broncos as the Super Bowl MVP a few years back. And lots of just players who are kind of coming to the end of their careers, getting another ring. Von Miller getting another ring and those other guys getting their first. That's just huge. And again, like I was saying, you love to see some other guys getting to have the accolades instead of, as much as Tom Brady is the GOAT of football, we'd like to kind of spread it out a little bit.
Now, Thomas, you mentioned Aaron Donald a couple times so far throughout this panel, so let's jump to the defenses. Obviously, either team defense has really stepped up, 23-20, a relatively low-scoring game here. For Cincinnati, 2 interceptions, and they pretty much eliminated any sort of run game that the Rams had. And for the Rams, it was all about getting pressure onto Joe Burrow. Just talk about either of these two teams' defensive performances in this past game.
Well, for sure, those interceptions, that's a huge thing in the game, especially in the Super Bowl. When you're giving up your possession, no matter where you are down the field, like if you're closer to your own end, to the other team's end zone, that can set up for a real easy score. Or if you're going down the field and you're trying to get either a touchdown or a field goal, if you lose that ball like that, you're just in so much trouble. So that's a really great job by Zach Taylor and the Cincinnati Bengals. But if we had to pick a team that definitely played defense better, and it shows because they won the game, that was the Rams. And I mean, the Bengals have had struggles in protecting Joe Burrow throughout the season. He had 70 total times he was sacked this year. And it was Aaron Donald, again, an excellent player. He had so many pressures in that second half. He kind of had a slower first half, but then, and again, Von Miller, who's also one of the greatest defensive players in the league, just a bunch of great players. Jalen Ramsey was great as the cornerback. He gave Jamar Chase some trouble throughout the game, and so many great players. And that were able on that defense that were able to shut it down. And of course, Sean McVay is probably one of the best coaches in the league, and him winning a Super Bowl, I didn't mention this, but him winning a Super Bowl, that legitimizes him as one of the greats, and he is one of the youngest coaches to win the Super Bowl.
Now, while the Bengals were not able to get it done, I'm sure we will be seeing them here relatively soon. I mean, just looking at their core, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, not that old, T. Higgins, all these guys, just very, very young to the NFL. So I would not be surprised if we did see the Bengals return to the Super Bowl in the near future. Thomas, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me.
Thank you, Evan. It's always a pleasure.